I'm Gail Bernstein, the senior judge.
Ollie Ferzi, regular judge.
Exactly. I am Ingrid Green, also regular judge.
Gee, I'm Tom Fain, senior judge. So you got two.
Yeah, you got two. Just to go, you'll have 25 minutes to present. That will be followed by 15 minutes of questions and answers, staying in role, and then we can break into non-role and just have a regular discussion. You're not to identify your university nor us any affiliation, and so we also will be designating what our role is in your presentation. So you'll go ahead and introduce yourselves and then tell us who we are.
Okay. Well, good morning to the executives that are here today with us. Our project presents an opportunity that, an opportunity for you to save the marine ecosystem of the Riviera Maya and the Mayan communities, also to make an impact on on this planet. My name is Ethel. I am the
sorry. Maybe we could put it on the desk.
Yeah, there we go. So my name is Ethel. I am the ethics specialist. This is my coworker Anna. She is the marketing specialist, and this is Dana. She is the finances specialist. Now, the next topics that we're gonna talk to you about is the sargassum, the problematic that what is sargassum, why is it, what it has caused really negative impact on the environment, also in the Mayan communities, the women discrimination, and also that what is our solution, that is a cream based on sargassum that it actually helps healing some scars on the skin. So now I have a question for you. Have you ever been to Cancun? Yeah. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, really good. As you can see on these pictures, and if you have been there, the sea has a really turquoise color. You can actually see what's under it. The beaches are really clear. It has a huge biodiversity, and of course it's one of the favorite places for the tourists to visit. But now it has changed because of sargassum.
Okay, don't mean to interrupt, but what is our role that you want us to play?
You will be, we are making a consultancy for an association called the Seas We Love, which collects the sargassum of the beaches. And you will be the executives of the Seas We Love, and some hotel companies that will be benefited from us taking the sargassum out of the beaches.
Okay, so we're part of an organization that you're presenting to?
No, the organization already exists, and we are making this idea for them to, it's like a collaboration between us, the association called the Seas We Love, which collects the sargassum, and the hotels that are being affected because of the sargassum in the beaches.
Okay, Seas We Love is the organization.
Yeah.
Okay, but who are we that you're presenting to?
We are Seas We Love, the Seas We Love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We
You're
are
the
Seas We Love.
executive.
Okay,
You're the
Seas
Seas
We
We Love
Love.
executives.
Yeah.
executive management. Okay,
Okay, great.
all right, very good, thank you.
Okay. Well, as I was saying, now sargassum has become a huge problem. Okay, as you can see in this picture, now the beaches have turned brown. While you are going into the sea to swim, you can feel the sargassum all over your legs, and it's really itchy. Now the biodiversity and the animals are in really danger. Okay, but I mean, what is sargassum? Well, the sargassum is a macroalgae, better known as sargassum, scientifically known as sargassum. It is located in the Atlantic Ocean, between the Gulf Stream currents, better known as the Bermuda Triangle. Its history dates to the 15th century in the Sargassum Sea, where the writings of European navigators explain that this area had huge problems for them during their expeditions due to problems for navigating through the barriers of seaweed that were created there. Okay. Well, Sargassum, throughout the history, it has become fundamental for the marine ecosystem. It has helped being as a shelter, as a habitat and food source for small organisms such as crustaceans, fishes, and seabirds. But now this phenomenon has intensified due to factors such as climate change and the increase of sea temperature. Now, sargassum has become a problem since its arrival to the Mexican and Brazilian beaches in 2015. It had a huge impact on the beaches, like the obstruction of sunlight entering the sea and reefs. It has become barriers to access for new offsprings marine, mainly the turtles. It has a huge, strong smell that it doesn't smell really good. And it has a huge discoloration, as you can see it has turned brown. Also the mortality of seagrasses and the mortality of corals. Well, because of this, we did an investigation and we asked some people if they actually knew about the conflict and if they wanted to solve it. And these two important questions that we asked were, did you know that in the year 2023, 20 million tons of sargassum had been accumulated on the Caribbean coast? 72% of them said yes, and 28% said no. So actually the people know about the problematic. And what impact do you think the sargassum will have on the oceans and its coast? Well, only the 4% didn't know. The emission of greenhouse gases, the 23% knew. Lower levels of tourism, 32%, and the pollution of the sea damaging flora and fauna, 41%. So we can actually see that the people know about the problem, but it's just there, where there's no one solution, like a huge solution, to just to eliminate this. Okay, now the tourism. Also, the sargassum has a huge impact on the tourism in Mexico because mainly reflecting on the GDP of the region. So the region most affected by sargassum received 37% of all tourists who visit in Mexico. Tourism is really important for this because, all the activities in Cancun actually attract national and international tourists who spend money on a lot of services such as entertainment, food, accommodation, transportation. So it's really important for the tourism. But now because of the sargassum, it has decreased in this area. As you can see in this next table, this is the decrease of the GDP in Quintana Roo during spring break and during summer. In Cancun, it has decreased 3.8% during spring break and during summer 6.4%. In Cozumel, 7% in spring break and during summer 3.8%. And in the Riviera Maya, it has decreased at 8.1% and in summer 12.6%. This is only because of sargassum, because we know that also the tourism had a huge decline caused by COVID-19, but also the sargassum has a huge impact on that. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the local communities and the region, who we also have identified that they also have suffered a lot because of sargassum. Well, the 30% of the population in Quintana Roo actually speaks an indigenous language. The most spoken are Chol, Canjobal, Maya, and Soxil. Now, because of sargassum, 56% of the tourists have changed their activities that were at the beach to the cenotes. So that's also a huge impact on the cenotes because of that change. My coworker Anna is going to talk to you more about it. Also, we talked to 3 of the communities, the main communities in this area that are Lázaro Cárdenas, Felipe Carrillo Puerto, and José María Morelos, who approximately 180,000 people in this area are indigenous and actually are affected because of sargassum. Now, the one that I'm going to talk to you about more is the Felipe Carrillo Puerto. They have been really affected because of sargassum because they are in activities such as fishing and agriculture. Now, sargassum had been a problem because when they are trying to go to the sea, the sargassum just like goes into the motor of the boat and they sunk. So they don't have more, their boats, they don't work. And also in the nets, when they're trying to fish, they grab only sargassum, so there's no more fishes there. Well, now I'm gonna introduce you, and I'm gonna talk to you more about this problematic.
Well, what are the cenotes? The cenotes are deep water wells composed of river currents and infiltrations. The name cenotes comes from the Mayan word tusnot, which means hole in the ground. In the Mayan community, the cenotes are considered a source of communication with the gods and a source of life. Due to rain filtration in the soil and detachment of the roof in the cave is what creates sargassum. And well, marine currents do not directly reach the cenotes, so if sargassum ends up in the cenotes because it was illegally dumped there, they don't have their own legal definition, so they are not regulated. They are not regulated, they are not controlled. So like my co-worker Ethel said, since the tourists have been visiting more the cenotes because they don't want to go to the beaches anymore because of the sargassum, it smells, it looks awful. Well, there have been an increase in the cenotes in tourists, and this has led to 230 tons of sunblock being dissolved in the waters of the cenotes. But we cannot know the extent of these effects that this effect have in the water and in the species that live there because they are not regulated. They don't have legal definition. Illegal sargassum dumping. Like I said, the sargassum does not naturally end up in the cenotes. So in 2023, there were 40 tons of sargassum found in the cenotes. And well, the chemicals that the sargassum releases, like arsenic and sulfuric acid and ammonia, affect the species that live there. Around 70 species are being affected by this, and also the chemicals seep into the subsoil, affecting the underground rivers. The elements that are released by the sargassum also causes hypoxia or low oxygen in the water, which also affects the species, the fish, the plants there, and it causes a chemical change in the water of the cenote. The government actions in Mexico that are taking. Well, the government has started investigations 24/7 to find a more permanent solution and to find uses for the sargassum that are sustainable and ecological. The president of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, at the beginning of his government, he assigned the responsibility to the Navy to pick up the sargassum, and he also recognized the efforts of hotels and associations like the Seas We Love in helping solve this problem. The Seas We Love has provided various boats and nets in order to help collect the sargassum off the beaches and solve the problem. Legislation. Well, there are 2 laws that I want to talk to you about. The General Law of Ecological Balance and Environmental Protections, which establishes the principles for environmental protections and regulates marine pollution. The Federal Environmental Responsibility Law, which establishes measures for damage reparations and non-compliance to prevent repair the environmental damage in Mexico. Hotels in Cancun have been sued because of the not following these laws. In the last years, the suits have been increasing. They don't follow these rules. They are being sued because of malpractices with environmental issues. And the ISO 14001 is an international standard certification that can help solve this problem. Because this certification establishes like how the organizations can reduce their environmental pollution, their environmental risk activities, and well, it's very important that these hotels have this type of certification. Measures taken by other countries. There are physical barriers such as containment nets and floating barriers. Floating barriers are similar to container nets. Container nets are put offshore to capture sargassum before it reaches the coast. And floating barriers are very similar to nets, but they are lighter and more adaptable to the climatic conditions. And these types of physical barriers are being used in Jamaica, Barbados, Belize, and the Bahamas. Collecting boats, which are specialized boats that suck up the sargassum before it reaches the coast. These are being used in Quintana Roo in Mexico and Aruba. Tractors and machinery, which collect the sargassum once it's arrived to the coast, are being used in San Martin and Bahamas. And well, there we see with cultivation, which are biotechnological solutions, which reduce the nutrients that the sargassum uses to grow. So it helps reduce the sargassum. And also there's a research going on in Indonesia and the Philippines to use fungi and bacteria to degrade the sargassum naturally, so it doesn't become as big of a problem. Women discrimination. Like my coworker Ethel said, the communities there are being really affected because they live off tourism, they live off the seas, they live off the fishing. But especially the women, of course taking into account all that, but women in these communities are being discriminated and it involves a lot of aspects. It involves cultural aspects, economical aspects, social aspects, and political aspects. They cannot have a high quality education because there are not many schools there, there are no quality schools there, or if there is like a social discrimination that doesn't let women study or doesn't prioritize women education. Also in healthcare, there are not a lot of health centers there, or doctors are have a stigma or prejudice against these women. 49% of these women have experienced some sort of violence in their life, but they often do not report it to the authorities because they fear retaliation. They also encounter a lot of economical disadvantages because they cannot access a formal job. They are not prepared, they don't have the skills, they can't have the knowledge to prepare for a well-paid job, all these factors, the lack of education, the lack of a paid job, and the lack of opportunities for them to prepare has created a very big economical disadvantage. And we would love to create an opportunity for these women to overcome these barriers and get a well-paid job, have a great life. And my co-worker Dana will talk more about that eventually.
Thank you, Anna. Well, before we speak about that problem, we made in the same survey a research, and we asked them if they were interested in acquiring a product that helps to fight the sargassum problem, and 90% got agree. So we decided to make a sargassum cream. That the main raw material would be the sargassum. That since it is a lot. One of the properties it has is that it is an regenerative sargassum. Well, it has vitamin A, C, and E, It helps to speed up the wound healing process, and it will be collected from beaches where it predominates, like Cancun, Tulum, and Playa del Carmen. Well, our mission is to be guardians of the skin, and we are looking for offer high quality products and give a great experience to our customers. We also have a vision to reduce green gases by collecting the sargassum. And one of our values is the responsibility, offering fair work conditions to our workers and be sustainable, assuring all the environment of the people that live there near the beach. Well, we want you to offer the alliance because in both cases, the SEASERENITY and the Instituto Quintana-Rooense, it will be we will have a mutual benefit. If you will help us to collect the sargassum.
And the Instituto Quintana-Rooense de la Mujer can help us produce the cream. So we are planning on you, the SEASERENITY, to help us recollect the sargassum so we save that cost. And the Instituto Quintana-Rooense de la Mujer can help us produce the cream, and this way we can also help the women get a well-paid job in a safe environment.
And increase all their income.
Well, now, as my co-worker said, the SEASERENITY, thank you. This initiative aims to support the hotel association, such as the Xcaret Hotel, the Hilton, the Hard Rock, the Melia, the Iberostar hotels. So for the objectives of this association and also our alliance is that we can reduce the sargassum, achieving 0 tons by 2030 and also 0 emissions before 2050, sorry. And so that's why we are also creating the sargassum cream, so that the ocean collection will be of great value and we can actually have 100% sustainable products doing this.
Okay. Well, the Instituto Quintana-Rooense offers legal assessment, orientation, and psychological. We will focus on the Center for Women Development, since they will give. Well, we will give you the basement on how to act and enter the women, and they will come to our fabric. This is our layout. The first thing is harvesting the sargassum from the beaches, and then we clean the sargassum, we extract the components, add all the moisturizers and make the cream. Then we only package it and do the labeling, and then we distribute it by Amazon. This is how what is the paper of every association? In the case of the SEASERENITY, the sargassum collect and they will give us to our fabrics, and the Instituto Quintana-Rooense will help us to produce in production and to deliver the cream. In our SOT, the main opportunity we have is that it's an innovative product, since there are no sargassum creams for healing, because there are other that are from skin, or makeup.
There's makeup.
So we can expand to new markets. One weakness is that it requires a lot of to retire all the sargassum from the beaches, and there are some regulations that the government has, and if you want the license, it takes a lot of time to access that license. Well, we decided that the good strategy it will be to acquire a good position in the market, because this way we could produce more and fight more sargassum by collecting them, create the alliance with the SEASERENITY, and a partner with the Instituto Quintana-Rooense, increasing the income of women. This is our costing. It will be $12.38, and our break-even point. We only need 1,000 units to produce without earnings, and with our sales price, we only need 476, and this is our state of income. We only need in the first year it's 800.
8,300.
Dollars, and this is our cash flow. In the first quarter, we are producing 300 creams, 400, and in the third quarter, we are producing 500 cream units. So we are making our break-even point here in the third quarter. And in resume, all our key partners to this project is the SEAS We Love, Instituto Quintanarroense, and Amazon by distributing. We need to treat the sargassum and hire people that needs work, that live near the Riviera Maya. We need some license that the government will give us. We would like to speed the wound healing process and be sustainable with all our production. It will be a self-service because they are all ordering online and there is no direct interaction with our clients. And all our customers will be people who have scars or are interested in making their appearance for their wounds. It also, our channel will be websites and social media, and we will distribute our product by Amazon, and in the case of the hotels, they could sell them in their stores. We also have the cost structure, that is the hardware charge, the employee payroll, the e-commerce hosting cost, the packaging. We need
Bolson boxes,
just
to put in them so we can send them to Amazon and they can deliver it.
And advertising and publicity. We also like to make some campaigns to reduce sargassum, to make conscious people conscious of how the sargassum affects them.
Well, also what is really wonderful about this project is that it can be replicated. We are thinking about it in Mexico in like small communities, but it can be also made in all of the Caribbean, because they all have this problem with the sargassum. So it's not only for the Quintana Roo or the Mexican states, but it can be used in Barbados, it can be used in Brazil, it could be used in many parts of the world where sargassum is a really big problem.
And well, we wanted to put a phrase in Mayan. It is actually Matjos. It means thank you. And it's not only thank you for us and for your time, it's also a thank you for the Mayan community, and I mean the biodiversity and the animals who they cannot talk about the problem that we're making. So thank you so much for your attention.
Let me start out with a question on your costs to make the cream. Does that incorporate the cost of collecting and obtaining the sargassum, or are you thinking the government is going to do that? I mean, are you having your own fishing boat? Because I saw that boats do some of the collection.
Well, the SEAS We Love, actually, the association, the SEAS We Love, what they do is they recollect the sargassum. They pick up the sargassum from the beaches. So we are thinking of making an alliance with them. So the sargassum that they pick up, they give it to us, and we can produce, and the Instituto Quintanarroense can make the cream. So it actually will cost almost nothing to pick up the sargassum.
Okay, so you don't have any cost incorporated because you'll be getting it from the seas.
From us.
From you.
From us,
Yeah.
okay.
What are we doing with it today?
Well, there is no solution permanent. Like I said, there is so much sargassum that sometimes where they dump it, it's not enough, so they go to the cenotes and they dump it. And there are some products, they're like Dana said, there's makeup, and they were trying to make like bricks out of the sargassum, but are like small. They are small projects. They don't have like a big solution to actually help take off these big quantities of sargassum out of the beaches.
So do you need us to collect it and bring it someplace, or just collect it by our hotels and you will pick it up in your cost
we will
structure?
pick it up and we will take all the materials to the Instituto Quintanarroense, and they will help
Great.
us fabricate it.
So you have the cost of are you buying trucks or leasing trucks?
Yeah, we have the trucks,
Yeah.
we have the equipment necessary to make the cream, and we have the salaries of the women that are going to help us.
Okay, and how is sargassum going into the cenotes? Is it cenotes?
Cenotes, yes.
Yeah.
They take it and they, like I said, the places that they dump the sargassum, the sargassum is already too much, so they throw it in cenotes.
Oh, okay. Which is a problem too.
Yeah.
In your financials, because we went a little quick through that, so I couldn't read everything. Since you're relying on Amazon, and I know Amazon takes a good chunk of
Yeah.
your sales, is that already factored into all your numbers?
Yes.
And the startup money you needed, which was I think 12 million, you had a slide with before this
Use
one.
the other word for it, yeah.
One more.
Oh,
No, before. The first one, right?
There you
yes.
Yeah.
Before this
Before.
one. There
That
you
one,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is this over what period of time is this number for? First year?
This is for unit. It's like for what? Well, for one.
For making just one cream, that's
Got it.
what it cost.
I got
So
it.
I mean, if the first year we're gonna do 300,
This is what's
gonna cost just one, so we can multiply that one for $12.38.
Got it. Raw material indirect.
So what is the sales price of the cream?
$25.
We also made a survey of how much people were willing to pay for the cream, and that's the answers that we got were around $25. Yeah.
Talking about surveys, in the first couple of slides you said you did some surveys asking people about like if they knew about sargassum and things like this. How many people were in your survey?
300.
300. Okay,
Yeah.
great. That's a good amount. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was just like 5
Three.
people.
Yeah,
300
300
people.
Yeah.
Okay, super. Good. And then you had another slide about the revenue drop of people coming for spring break or summer and things like this, right?
Yeah.
How do you know that's because of the sargassum? It could be because of the corruption, or it could be because of the
Yeah,
Oh,
so there are many aspects.
We searched on the internet, and actually the
BBVA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banco de Bilbao,
Banco-
Vizcaya, something.
Yeah, that one
exactly.
actually made the research.
Okay.
So they actually will make the research, and those were the numbers, and also the government.
Okay, got it. And they said that these drops are specifically due to the sargassum.
Yes, because I mean, also we can know that the
Well, there are another numbers for the pandemic and for the
for the-
insecurity and for
exactly.
the.
yeah, it was
These are
only
specific.
because of sargassum,
Okay, got it.
and only in these three areas that are the most current
The
places
more
they
touristic
the
places.
tourists they can go to more,
Okay, got it.
or they prefer.
Right.
So Banco Santander and BBVA, Santander I think is number 1 in Spain, BBVA I think is number 3 in Spain, but there's a close relationship with Mexico, and they had banks in Mexico, so I happen to know this just because of what I worked in, but so this drop, and you got that from BBVA information, so did this was this over a period of 1 year or?
Yeah, it was mainly during 2015 because that
Oh,
was
2015.
It was the year
the
where the sargassum
was like really a big amounts of sargassum were there.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what has it been since then till now?
Well, 2015 was like a surprise because there weren't as many sargassum trash there, but it's been more or less the same since 2015. Just like 2015 was the big year of like we didn't have
The
this
sargassum,
problem before.
and yeah, so it actually you can Well, I've been actually to Cancun for some from these years, and yeah, if you talk to the hotels people and the people that works there, they told me that they actually have been like a huge decrease because of sargassum. The tourists, they don't go to the beaches. They stay in the pools, or they actually looking for some other activities to do in Cancun, but no on the beach. So that's not actually the main attraction now. And they want the beaches to be again like really clear.
Yeah, they live from the tourism, so it's really fun.
And also the tourists, they really love these beaches. So it's really sad that they are not like before.
So the sargassum still continues to be a
Yeah,
problem?
it is.
It hasn't decreased much?
Well, you can go, and there's not a lot of sargassum as there was before, because they take it out, but it's the same. It's not on the beach, but it's
Now in the
somewhere else.
It's somewhere
Yeah.
else.
It's still causing problems.
Got it. And Quintana Roo is Cancun and Cozumel and
Yeah,
It's Quintana Roo and Yucatan. It's two
Yucatan.
states from Mexico.
So Quintana Roo and which other one?
Yucatan.
Yucatan. Okay.
Where is Merida?
Okay.
Yeah, Merida is in Yucatan, and
Cancun, I think it's also it's between Yucatan
and Quintana Roo. So this is Quintana Roo. So Cancun is in Quintana Roo and Merida is in Yucatan.
Got it.
Question?
No, the problem with having four is the fourth one doesn't have any questions. You already covered it.
That's good.
Covered it.
No more questions for me?
Okay, so we'll go into just feedback. First of all, I want to compliment you because English is not your primary language, and to do this kind of, first of all, this kind of a presentation takes a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of practicing your presentation skills, and then not to do it in your native language is even another thing to throw in the pot. So you guys had very good eye contact. You didn't have to look at any notes. So I thought that was really good. So I thought I always learn from these kinds of presentations. I didn't know you could actually make things with sargassum, and then I didn't know there were people still speaking Mayan, and that I know the education in the smaller communities. It's interesting because this is now, out of 3 presentations, 2 of them were on Mexico. So it's interesting how problems are shared and emphasized, and that was not on sargassum, but it was another issue that are shared in a lot of countries. So this was good in bringing to the forefront. Have you actually talked to? Do you need investment other than the having the Sea We Love bringing the sargassum? I mean, are you trying to raise investment funds for this idea?
Yes, and we are also thinking to talk in our university with the engineering area, so they can actually help us to make the cream and actually create it, so we can help the problem, not just in an idea, but just to make it a reality.
But yeah, we need investment to buy the machinery, to pay the transport. Yeah, we need investment.
Are there any government programs that you can access?
Well, there are a few, but it's really hard to access them.
Yeah.
And has this cream successfully been made? It's not just a concept that it does this healing thing. It's actually
Well,
proven?
it has proven that the sargassum has this property that can help heal wounds, but we haven't been able to
Actually made it.
do the cream. That's why we want to talk to the engineer department in our university so they can help us create this cream.
that might be difficult and expensive
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah.
do.
That's why we are
Component
in-
extraction and then bioengineering it for people use can be very pricey.
Yes.
Although, some universities have entrepreneurial schools and they have funds. I don't know in your country, but that they invest in students' projects,
Yes.
and some have been very successful, and so that money comes back to the fund if the company is sold or goes public or anything. So I don't know, that's either something that can start, because there's plenty of wealthy people in Mexico that would maybe invest in a student fund
Yeah.
for startup companies. So that's an idea. But obviously to help the more indigenous women and give them other opportunities and create jobs would be a good idea. Does anybody else have feedback?
Okay, yeah.
You
Good.
guys did a really nice job.
Thank you.
And I hope you can prove your concept out, because this problem is probably only going to get substantially worse, because in English we say the train has left the station. The problem that's causing this will not get better for years and years. I mean, maybe decades. So if you can find a way to turn a nuisance into a free raw product for something that has of all things, a healing effect, how funny. The problem that has noxious fumes and causes all these problems, if done properly, can have a positive impact, and you can accomplish all the social benefits along with it. You guys might be looking at a real life business idea. So I encourage you to go back and to see if you can really make this cream, it doesn't make people's skin fall off or get them sick. But if you can really prove the concept, I think you'll be surprised how quickly you'll find money out in the world. There's a lot of funds that focus on environmental sustainability, and yours has several components to it. I think you'll very easily raise bigger money if you can prove all the individual concepts of what you're doing. So if you guys really, really believe in this, it wasn't just for the competition and an idea that you thought was fun, and the three of you continue working on it along with anyone else you have, I would encourage you to look at it. We need people to think in this way going forward, because the world that we're entering needs a new kind of thought concept to start solving problems that we have in innovative ways like what you guys are thinking about. So well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad that you touched on that more the ethical piece as well, because we didn't. It wasn't really an ethical slide, but it was good to articulate that. Yeah, my feedback is, that the transitions and the presentation was great. Like, I feel like you guys practiced and you knew your facts and everything, which is awesome. I would just always recommend putting in sources on your slide, right? Like, revenue, right, of where, who, what, how many people were surveyed, things like that, so that we know that you didn't make up this information, right? That this is actually truth. Yeah, and that's really my biggest piece of information. I think that I think that it was really nice to come together. Exactly, your second language, and it is a very, I think, sustainable and workable product. Definitely. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, feedback for that?
I have nothing to add.
No, still okay.
So this is kind of a picky, unique point, but your computers, I think, have spell check, because you had tourism, you left out the O in a couple places.
Right.
So, well, when it's not your native language, it's not as
Harder to
noticeable.
see.
So, but I think everybody does spell check now, just to. In fact, the stupid phones convert words when I don't want it to convert them, But just to make sure you have your spelling up to speed there. And as I said, that was. You need an add-on definition. Well, that's a problem because my phone I put, to put in Spanish, and sometimes it changes words to Spanish when I didn't mean it to. So, it can be an issue. So, well, I found it interesting. My grandparents were born in northern Mexico, so yo sí hablo español. Si queremos hablar después. Okay. But at any rate, I enjoyed learning about sargassum and there's something good to do with it.
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
And so, I mean, good job.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.